Welcome back,
Thank you.
Bridge. Part two.
Part two.
Part two. You ready?
Ready.
So, what sons hear and feel from their mother about men and maleness makes them the man that they become? Shall I repeat it again?
Yes.
What sons hear and feel from their mother about men and maleness makes them become the man they become? Your thoughts?
So it's kind of saying what your mom teaches you becoming of being a man is, right?
What sons feel and hear from their mom. So your mom has a certain feeling or idea or says things or about men or has beliefs about them, inform sons into the way they'll become a man.
That sounds like a question though.
Oh, I don't know anything, to be honest. It's
Or is
just
it more-
it's an inquiry and just an idea.
So more like a open-ended kind of thing.
And just whatever comes up for you when you hear it. Do you remember your mom's beliefs, her ideas, the way she spoke about the men in her life or about men in general? And do you think that impressed you about, oh, I'm like taking notes, from this woman?
So, I've never had that conversation with my mom. She probably never had that even quoted to her or read to her or anything, because we were told just to be us rather than be manly. Just be yourself, be creative. If you like sports, do sports. There wasn't any like high male influence that she had other than her dad, who was a businessman. And she told me stories about Papa, but it was never, this is what you need to be like. This is just what he chose.
And Papa being your grandfather,
Yeah.
her father.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But I can see that question being asked to someone that probably, so like a woman's idea of what a man should be, maybe, or a mom's idea of what her son should be as men. Being honest was always part of being a man, I think.
And you got that idea from?
My mom.
Because she felt that.
Well, being truthful is good, Hey, there's a reason you feel bad when you tell lies. And to make sure you never feel bad, you just never lie. So I don't know.
So, but do you recall her having opinions or ideas or beliefs or judgments about men in general or particular men that would have left you with an idea?
Not for me, no.
What about other women? Like, I know that you're very close with your grandmother as another mother,
Yeah.
right? Did she ever make statements or, we can make body movements or what have you that indicate what we feel about men and maleness? Not particularly a person, but just about.
I guess they stress the importance that they need their male partners, but never to. They probably said something about like protection, protect the family, provide for the family.
These were things that they
saying without saying it, you know?
In other words, these were ideas they gave you that they
Right.
wanted you to be
Right.
in your role as a man. Okay. So, but did you hear any, speak between the two of them, or women together, or, your mother to your father? I mean, just this idea of what they, maybe frustrations, maybe joys, whatever, both ends of the spectrum, about what they felt about men and maleness.
Not really.
Okay.
But I mean, I didn't have any deep conversations with like my dad till I was older. I just saw how mom was and wanted to be like that.
And saw dad and
Wanted to go the opposite direction.
okay, got it. That's clear.
So there wasn't any talk about. I'm sure my mom definitely had some plan as to making me like a fine man whenever I grow up.
And
Well,
how
that
do
was
you know that?
because she taught me. Maybe she trusts her judgment more than anyone else's.
So it's your memory. In your memory, you have a clear memory that she was pointing you in certain directions.
Oh yeah, and not like she let us make our own mistakes too.
Mm.
But mom never had to say much of anything. She just has like a thing that you're gravitated towards to where you want to be like her.
How does she do that?
I don't know.
And you had talked earlier about last time in part 1 about her patience, her strong will.
Yeah, and she's always been independent.
So you watched independence, and now you model independence.
Maybe I try to, but she never really spoke of like what it's like to be a man. She spoke what it was like to be a decent human, which is arguably more important.
Mm.
You know, always encouraged us to whatever our interests were, and mine was art from like the youngest age.
Mm-hmm.
There's not a lot of guys that are into art. That's, most of them are into sports or into cars or into whatever. But my mom just keep on drawing, keep on doing art. You can do whatever you want, and whatever you do, you're gonna be good at. So. But yeah, never had that conversation. Never had her. Not that I recall at least, that I've ever had like the conversation of what does it mean to be a man? What qualities would I need to be a man?
So let's say that she might be speaking about other men that she knew or didn't know, and gave you an indication of certain things that she might have liked or didn't like about them, and like that.
She said things were trashy sometimes that men did.
So that I believe that could inform.
Yeah, but this was stuff that kind of heinous people, Mom's not one to get so creative with her language like I am. So the best she would do is trashy. Like,
she was giving you clear indications of.
Yeah, well, I guess now that I kind of like go back, like, you don't cheat. It's a pretty big one.
She said that or indicated it how?
If someone was cheating, she'd just go, that's trashy.
That's what I'm talking about. We give these clues. We might roll our eyes. We might put our hands on our hips. We might just, look a little down to the side. It's not so much a conversation. Anything like when you think about just these nuances of a mother's indication of what she feels about, and it's about men and maleness in general. In other words, does she speak highly about men in general? Did she love men or not?
I'm sure she does.
Because
She's married. But she never really directed a lot of energy towards men themselves, though.
what kind of energy do you mean?
Like if someone is being, if there's a male that's doing something, it wouldn't be for them being a male, it'd just be the general person doing lying, doing cheating, whatever it was.
I'm not trying to force this idea.
Yeah.
Just explore it and give you space to consider it.
Yeah, I'm trying to think.
Yeah. Well, probably had never thought about it.
No, never. So it's kind of like it's a brand new idea that I've never even considered. So
So picture that you have a son growing
Mhm.
up in your family,
Mhm.
your soon family,
yeah.
and your wife just has a negative opinion about men in general. They do this, they do that, they're this, they're that, whatever. And this little being in your house hears that, feels that.
Mhm.
And I imagine when I first heard this quote that it would be like, oh, from this person whom I was birthed from, that I'm
Yeah.
very attached to, feels that way, then where do I go with that as a male? To give you an idea what it felt like when I first heard it. Because we're impressing each other all day long with our words, our actions,
Mhm.
our gestures, our ideas, and the little impressionable son in this case looking for direction from this, mother
Mhm.
about what a man is.
I really don't know.
You don't have to. It's just an inquiry. What happens to you when you hear that, when you take it to the other person, meaning your son, to come? What happens for you?
Probably hearing like men are selfish, men are simple, like simple-minded. They cheat, they lie. I think these are all generalizations, but certainly not all of us. They're trying to like but being a man, you might feel, being like a boy, you might feel a little weird about being a man if you hear that.
That's what
You know? So maybe like this, so I get what you're saying, the woman who, to like go back to the last quote, you were the woman you were born from, is now talking maybe ill about how men are. It
or
makes you
great
kind of,
about him.
yeah,
Right?
well, I think
Right?
both are just as influential,
Exactly.
but you would either hear praise, you would hear like,
Poison.
yeah, and that would influence is well, maybe I don't want to be that kind of man, maybe I don't, but mom never talked about it.
Your
Mom was
mother.
gone though an awful lot, so
Other women in your life? Just to kind of peek back now that we've stirred this a little more.
other women probably, yeah, Kind of like the examples I just rattled
When you were
off.
little?
Yeah, indecisive, simple, immature.
And what was that like to hear that as you were growing up?
Well, that's kind of rude.
Rude to who?
I think men.
Okay, so but how did it feel to you? It might be rude, you think it's rude, but...
Because I don't think it's true.
Okay.
You know?
But how did it feel when you heard it? Angry, sad, happy, confused?
I was aware that they were making a point and wanted to be an exempt party of that.
So your feeling word, like an emotion, was along with that committed, maybe.
Maybe, but if that's, I don't know. I want to be an example of how to do things right. So if you would hear, you'd probably get sad and discouraged after hearing that, but then just don't do it. You know? Don't lie, don't cheat, don't be immature. Which, as like, you know, we do mature a little bit slowly than women, so that's, give us a few years, we'll get there. But
so just to flip again, just so we see it from generations, like picture your son.
Yeah.
Now that you've heard a little more, has it, when you look forward to being a father of this son, what has this conversation informed you, if it has?
I guess give praise when needed, and I don't know. I don't like speaking ill of anyone, even if it's like a generalization. But I think I'll probably just take a page out of my mom's book.
Which is?
Just let them just have that peace in being a decent person. Obviously, I want them to be, if they're a guy, I want them to be a little bit like a guy. Because I don't know how to use tools. It'd be really cool if my son could help me take apart a lawnmower.
I think you're going to do it.
But it'd also be cool if my daughter knew how to take apart a lawnmower too. So I don't want to discriminate between the two. But
yes.
No,
Yes.
I don't even know what my definition of a man would be.
Just a good thing to question and be
Well, since the world's changing like that, self-identification is wild. And I think, like,
what do you mean wild?
hard to keep up with. But it is changing. Like, everything, you can identify with whatever you want now. Which, for someone that's probably felt lost for a long time, they probably finally feel like they have a place to go, which I'm happy for. But as a man, I think we are kind of biologically engineered to be a certain way. Like, women are more likely to get into small fender benders, and men are more likely to get in, like, horrific crashes.
I'm unaware of that statistic.
So that says something. I think men are more likely to go after high-risk, low-reward systems, and women play it safe. Low risk, high reward, maybe.
Is it biological or is it example?
I feel like it's biological. I think maybe, but I don't know because I've only ever been me. So, there is a certain need to provide for a family, and but that also could be because as a man, I'm not speaking for myself. Well, I mean, we are always kind of told to, like, yeah, we need to provide and stuff, but
You were actually told that?
oh yeah, like a man provides.
By who told you that?
Probably my grandparents. That sounds like something they would say. So whether we feel the need to provide because we're told it when we're young, or whether that's an instinct, I don't know.
Something again to just
Yeah, that's something else to think
consider,
about.
yeah. I just wanted to wrap up and consider back to the sun, kind of your sun visual. I think it's important for us to be mindful what we say
And how we say it.
and how we
Yeah.
thank you. Yeah.
I'm learning now that tone has a lot to do with how you say things. So,
Well, thank you. Bruce.
Yeah.
This is great. I really appreciate your time and your thoughts and consideration and honesty and patience and
yeah.
strong-willedness.
Yeah, just like my mom.
Yes.